seems so wide. It seems so wide. Which camera am I looking at? This one. This one. Okay. Fantasy Blitz. It's your boy Elijah. Let's see. How's the mic pickup? It seems so wide. Okay. All right. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're doing dandy. How are we on this Thursday? Fantasy Blitz. It's your boy Elijah. Don't think I forgot that. Come on. Maybe I already said it, but maybe that's too quick. Okay. So the thing is, I got to it's something every week, right? I got to look over at this screen. It's even farther now. It used to be right here, and now it's over there. So if I'm squinting, it's because I'm reading the chats. And I think I fixed the problem of the screens plus cam issue where you couldn't hear me when I was talking on the screens from last week. But if it doesn't work, then let's do the same thing from last week. 2 comments. Acid Rabies, what's up, Davis? He says, let's go. Let's go. And then Coin Operator says, ready for Eli to drop the knowledge. Coin, are you ready to receive the knowledge? Are you? I know you are. You always are. Make sure you hit that like button if you're on your way in. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Thursday afternoon. We have 6 teams on bye. So a lot of studs, a lot of good players are going to be out this week. So we got to talk about who you need to start, okay? So let's get right into it. Let's see if it works. Y'all got to let me know because I don't want to keep talking if it's not going to work. I think it's going to work, though. Oh, do I have double mics? No. Y'all got to let me know. Okay, here we go. Got 5 people in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Let's see if this works. All right, it's working. Let's do this. All right. If anyone's hiring for any IT work, just let me know. I'm just kidding. Okay, topics for today, as always. We have NFL news and starts and sits. So let's get rolling. Not a lot of news to talk about. All right, there's not a lot of people that are making moves. Like the last one, I'll start at the very bottom. Daniel Jones moved to the bench. Tommy DeVito, the Italian Stallion, is back to start for the New York Football Giants. All right, so that's a pretty big move. Just, I guess, in the NFL in general, because Daniel Jones, the guy that's getting paid $40 million a year, is now on the bench. And it's rumored today that he was actually, I don't even know if it was rumored, I think it's confirmed, that he was actually playing safety in their practice today. That's insane to me. Travis Hunter will for sure, the Colorado Star, will for sure declare for the NFL draft and wants to play cornerback / wide receiver in the NFL. That'll be very exciting to see. Jaguars owner Shad Khan contemplating head coach Doug Peterson's future, which makes sense. You have, I think, a pretty good quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. I don't think he stinks entirely, but you get the gist entirely. Okay, so I got the chat on my phone. Let's just read it from there. Coin Operator said it paid off to start Bo Nix last week. Yeah, I'm sure it did. Good game, Coin. Good game. Beat my birds. I can't believe it. It's ridiculous. All right, well, let's read this one comment real quick, and then we will get right into the show. All right, George Play 01 says, sup, man? What's up, brother? He says, start and sit question. Non-PPR. Start 2 wide receivers and a flex. Hopkins, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, JSN, Waddle, Roschon, Trey Benson, or Bucky. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of Waddle and Roschon. I don't think any of those guys are good plays this week. And if you need to pick 2 wide receivers and a flex, oh boy. It sounds like you're in a pretty deep league. I would say if you want the best chances for you to win, you would probably want to do Hopkins, Marvin Harrison, and DJ Moore. And you could probably swap out Marvin Harrison for JSN if you really wanted to. I'm not with Trey Benson. I'm not with Bucky. I like Trey Benson on the waiver wire pickup, but I don't know if I'm ready for him to start yet. But if you absolutely need him to, then go right ahead. Man, that's a tough one. But if you want your best chance to win, I would go with Hopkins, Harrison, and DJ Moore. Those are my guys. That's who I'm rolling with. All right, let's go over here. Boom. Teams on bye. We have the Bengals, the Bills, the Falcons, and the Jaguars, and the Jets, and the Saints. All right. Pretty stacked lineup. So we got some studs missing here. We got Joe Burrow gone, Jamar Chase gone, Josh Allen's gone, James Cook is gone, Kirk Cousins, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Mooney, Jaguars. I don't know. Nobody, I guess. Evan Ingram. The Jets, you're missing Adams, you're missing Wilson, you're missing Hall, and the Saints, you're missing Kamara. So a lot of these guys are gone. Okay, so we really... Sorry, the stream's not over. Sorry about that. We really got to start looking at your bench, and we really got to start looking at potential waiver wire last-minute options. So let's think about it. And George said, thank you, man. Just a little bit worried for Marvin Harrison because of the weather in the game. What's up with all the weather going on? A lot of people have been talking to me about weather in games. Yeah, a lot of stuff. Okay, so if you're worried about Marvin Harrison Jr., put him in your flex. That might be the better option. That really might help make that decision for you. But I'm wanting to start this thing. Let's get into it, man. Let's do it. Let's go. All right, Thursday night football at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, which is tonight on Amazon Prime. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers facing the Cleveland Browns. Pittsburgh, they are 3.5-point favorites. So today's episode, we'll start with the favorites. Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, George Pickens, and then for the Cleveland side, nobody, because the Browns are terrible. So let's look at the standings real quick in the AFC North. All right. In order, we have the Steelers at 8-2, the Ravens at 7-4, the Bengals at 4-7, and the Browns at 2-8. So, not terrible rankings in the top three. Well, top two really, but I can't believe the Bengals are 4-7. That blows my mind. This could be a big win for the Steelers, okay? And it's not a big win just because they beat the Browns. 8 teams have done that so far, at least 8 times it's happened. But they can move to 9-2. And then if the Ravens win, they would be 8-4. So, I mean, your 4 losses to your 2 losses, that's a lot. All right, yeah, you have 1 less win, but you have 2 less losses. This could be a huge move for the Steelers if they win tonight's game. I reckon they will. Divisional rival game. It's a football game, logo type stuff. I like Russell Wilson. I like Najee Harris, and I like George Pickens, and I'll tell you why. Well, I can't tell you entirely why, because now I'm being told about this weather going on in Cleveland and potentially in the Arizona game. What's up with that? I think Cleveland is so bad, and I think Pittsburgh is so good at what they do. And what I mean by that is I think Cleveland is so bad at what they do that other teams can just have the freedom to do what they do. And it's no shot to Cleveland. I just think they have a really bad team. Let's move this to full, because there's no one else to talk about. Sorry. I think it's an easy start for all 3 of those guys just because they have the chance to expose the Browns. And the Steelers are really good at what they do the best, and that's winning games. Maybe not scoring a lot of points. I mean, they won last week without scoring a touchdown. That's insane. I also forgot to put, you're going to start their defense too. So, no one for the Browns, but the reason I have Pittsburgh is because the Browns are so bad. And I don't know if it can get entirely any worse. So, with that being said, we're going to move on from this. But let me read a chat real quick, because I saw it from Coin. Travis Hunter is excellent, but do you really think you could play both sides of the ball at the NFL level? I mean, being coached by Deion Sanders doesn't hurt his chances. I don't know if they'll let him. I really don't know if they'll let him because, I mean, at this point now you're getting paid like on contract for this team. Like, this is your job. NIL is money from a sponsor or from the school for, whatever. You're playing under contract, so I don't know if they're going to let him because he becomes more of a liability. And also, he's going to be playing against NFL guys. Derrick Henry even said, Derrick Henry, out of all people, was like, dude, the NFL is totally different. And he's a monster. So I think Travis Hunter's good. I just think it's going to take some time. I really think so. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time to kick off our Sunday games, we have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Carolina Panthers. Kansas City, they are 11-point favorites, so let's start with them. Patrick Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and DeAndre Hopkins if need be. Now, George, if you are still in the chat and you're new to the show, if need be means if necessary, only if you need to start them. If you really don't have any other roster spots to go at, I think D-Hop is a safe spot to go to. I like the matchups here. Carolina, I only have Chuba Hubbard, but he's an if need be as well. I mean, he's facing a top 5 defense in Kansas City. They're not in Kansas City, but, in Kansas City, that defense. And Bryce Young is going to get eaten up. There's no receivers to catch the ball. It just looks like a field day for the Chiefs, so I won't discuss that too long. I mean, they took their first L. I'm not even going to look at the standings because one of the teams is at the top. The other team is at the very bottom. Kansas City just got handed their first L by Buffalo, so congratulations, Buffalo. I know that win must have felt really well. I actually went to a Buffalo Bill bar on Sunday, and it was really fun. But it did not make me want to become a Buffalo Bill. It made me want to become even more of a Falcon fan, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's going to be a quick show today. There's only 13 games to cover, and we already went through 2 of them, and a lot of them kind of suck. So, I don't know. Minnesota versus Chicago. We have the Vikings taking on the Bears in Chicago. Sunday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Minnesota, they are 3.5-point favorites. Sounds like a pretty sweet bet, not going to lie. Take Minnesota at 3.5. So let's start with them. Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, and T.J. Hawkinson, if need be. However, well, no, because if you took T.J. Hawkinson, you probably have another tight end to go for because he was not. His ADP was definitely later on in the rounds, so it was a whole lot higher. So you probably have another option, but if you're like me and you held on to T.J. Hawkinson, you might want to look around for other places. I don't like starting Sam Darnold. I think this is a terrible, terrible, terrible matchup against the Chicago defense. And the reason for it is their secondary and their pass rush is out of this world. I mean, it's incredible. This is a top 10 defense in the Bears. Okay, like stats-wise, I think they're almost top 10 in nearly everything, except winning games. I'll tell you that. I take that back. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean. I'm just saying they're not winning games. But their defense is phenomenal. So if they can get their offensive work down, good deal. For the Chicago side, I only put one name, so I'm not going to switch over just yet. DJ Moore. DeAndre Swift's a little banged up, but Minnesota also has a very good defense. So I would try to refrain or stay away from DeAndre Swift at all. He's also an if need be, but his injury makes me want to sit him completely. And I have just DJ Moore. I think the Minnesota defense, their only lackluster field is in the secondary. So I would try to take advantage of that if that can happen. If Caleb Williams can even get them the ball, I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Let's move on to the next game. If I can find my mouse. There we go. Okay. So we have Tennessee versus Houston. Oh, boy. Yeah, boy. I mean, this game can get ugly. Excuse me. But we have Tennessee. They're 8-point underdogs. This game's at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time in Houston. So we'll start with Houston since they are the favored. C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. Yes, we had to move Tank Dell to the if need be spot because I'm a little nervous now. Yes, he had an okay game last week. Not terrible, right? It was like 54 yards or so, a few catches. But if you started Tank Dell, you're definitely expecting a whole lot more. And I don't want people to go through that anymore. I mean, that's fantasy, but if you can prevent it, then I guess prevent it. But Tank Dell, if need be, really only a good flex play. If you have Tank Dell, you probably have better receivers as well. And then we'll go to the Tennessee side. We have Tony Pollard, if need be, and Calvin Ridley, if need be. But Calvin Ridley's a little banged up, so we can honestly just kind of erase him completely unless you don't have any other person to start. But this game is pretty good. We'll look at the standings for Houston. They should be sitting rather pretty in the AFC South. They're 7-4, and the next team is the Colts at 5-6. So they have a 2-game advantage. It kind of worries me that they're not already ahead. I mean, look at their losses. They have 2 losses. The Jets lost. That one's pretty rough. You had injured receivers. I mean, that's kind of the story for them. And the Jets just took advantage of that. And then you lost to the Lions. You took them to a really good game all the way down to the last game. Kind of blew the lead, but that's okay. Then you lost to the Packers. Another game-winning play. And then you lost early in the season to the Vikings. But at that time, no one knew the Vikings were that good. And you lost 34-7. But you have pretty solid wins. You have a win against the Bears, the Bills, the Colts, a divisional team, and the Cowboys. So those are all pretty solid wins. I was just expecting them to have a little bit more meat on the bone, a little bit more on the resume, as they would say. All right, let's go over here. And the Tennessee side, forget about it. It's over. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, we're moving on. Detroit versus Indianapolis. Excuse me, I'm getting stuffed up. It's killing me. I mean, it's just cold outside, and I'm never, healthy. This is ridiculous. And yes, I take medicine. Detroit versus Indianapolis. This is going to be a very good game. I think the spread is a little too high at 7.5, but, we don't gamble, so it doesn't matter, right? In Indianapolis, but Detroit, they are favored, so we'll start with them. Jared Goff, both running backs. Laporta. Yeah, we got to go back to Laporta. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, a.k.a. ASB. I like this Detroit team a lot. I really am starting to think they could win it all. They just look so good, all around. And the Houston game, say what you want about it, but they came back and won. End of story. They came back and won. So very proud of this Detroit team. Very proud of the fan base. Happy for them. But I think you're going to get a lot of value out of Jared Goff this week. He just looks on point. The Texans game was weird. I didn't like it a lot. No one really did. I mean, 5 picks, that's crazy. But, maybe he just had to catch up for his season total because he was doing so well. But I think you're going to get a lot out of both running backs. Dan Campbell likes to keep everyone guessing, but he likes to feed both of those guys. So, excited to see how those guys do. Amon-Ra St. Brown, has he scored a touchdown, I think, in every game for the last 8 weeks? I think that's what it is. Let's check him out. St. Brown. I mean, such a hard name just to... Why can't I just type it in? Let's switch it over. There we go. This is ridiculous. How am I supposed to find this guy? Oh, this is so frustrating. All right, we're not going to look it up because the fantasy app is upsetting me. But yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe it's 8 touchdowns in a row, or 8 games in a row with a touchdown, so very good. Then for the, let me just click out of this. Then for the Indianapolis side, we have Jonathan Taylor, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr. I'm not huge on Pittman Jr. It's just, I think I'm so blinded by his name, Michael Pittman Jr., because he used to be, last 2 years, a stud, and then he got a little hurt this year, and now you're playing with 2 different quarterbacks all year, and just kind of digresses, and declines. And it's not like, what's going on? Is it the injury? What's happening? So be cautious, but I do like Josh Downs a lot. I like Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's going to pop off. I think his projected at 14 or so, and he's usually around 16. But just get a touchdown in there, couple catches, and we'll be good. We'll be fine. We're moving on. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Patriots versus the Dolphins in Miami. Miami is 7-point favorites, so we will start with them. Tua Tagovailoa, Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill if he is healthy, and Jonnu Smith if need be. Full screen for this one. Guys, do not fall for the Jonnu Smith trap. I, as a Falcons fan, have seen it with my own eyes, okay? Don't fall for it. Yes, he had a 30-point game, a 29-point game last week. Will that happen again? Most likely not. But the consensus, or the consensus, oh my gosh, there's people above me. I was like, oh, they're about to raid. They're going to tell you that he's good to go and he's going to be a top tight end. No, don't listen to that. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But don't listen to that because it happens all the time. Fantasy it repeats itself all the time. Oh, Chili just said, I got Jonnu Smith. What up, Chili? George, Coin-Op, and Acid Rabies. Hello. Yeah, if you have Jonnu Smith, that's good. It's a good pickup, Chili. Absolutely. But just beware. If you have a better tight end, you could easily start him. But I like them a lot. Tyreek Hill should bounce back. Let's see what he had last week. Guys, I'm so sorry about this cough. I feel like I have it every week. And I'm not telling y'all what I do for my job, but with what it comes with, it happens. Okay, so he's been pretty good. Last week against the Raiders, he had 7 catches, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. He's had 2 touchdowns ever since Tua came back, I believe. It's incredible for Tyreek. Love to see that for him. I just don't know how much longer it's going to last. We're moving on. Oh, and Devon Achane. Way to go, man. I'm so happy. And then for New England, you have Ramondre Stevenson and Hunter Henry. Not a huge fan of the Henry guy, but he is a solid start for tight end. And not quite ready for Keyshawn Butte and Demario Douglas. Just not ready. I'm nervous for him. But let's move on. Tampa Bay versus the New York Giants. Let's look into it. We have the Bucs. They're 6-point favorites against the Giants in New York, Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll start with the Bucs. We have Baker, Rachaad White, and Mike Evans. Welcome back. You are a divisional rival to my favorite team. However, football or bias aside, I love Mike Evans. He's a great player, unless you're playing against him in fantasy, but it is what it is. So welcome back, Mike Evans. Very excited to see how you play. But we're going to have Baker, White, and Evans. I would say both running backs, so you can start Bucky Irving George if you're still here. I just would try to get better options in there because there's got to be better options than a backup rookie running back. But sometimes there's not, So you can see how that goes. And running back play is always good. But I just wish we had Godwin on there. New York Giants, we have Tyrone Tracy Jr. and Malik Neighbors. Very interesting to see how Malik Neighbors fares with Tommy DeVito as his quarterback. Could we see the same thing? Could we see a little bit more? Could we see a little bit less? I don't know. I just remember Tommy DeVito took over last time. And he actually did pretty decent and then not too good. And I'm also wondering if the DeVito thing is like a press boost or something. I don't know what Dabble or whatever his name is, the head coach for the Giants. I don't know what he's doing. I'm still surprised he hasn't been fired. I just thought they would move on by now, but they have not. 6-point favorites for the Bucs. I can get behind that for sure. For sure. All right, let's move on. Let's go to the next one. And cut. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the Dallas Cowboys versus the Washington Commanders. Who in their life would have ever thought the Commanders of Washington would be 11-point favorites mid-season versus the Cowboys? I mean, that's just unreal, right? I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. So we'll start with the Commanders. You got Jaden Daniels, Brian Robinson Jr., Terry McLaurin, and Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz has actually been a top 10 tight end for quite some time now. Let's pull up his stats. But very good matchups for Robinson Jr., McLaurin, and Jaden Daniels. These are all fantastic. Just like I said, good matchups. I think the run game will open up the pass game. I think Trevon Diggs is a great cornerback, but I think since the run game is so crucial, I think that'll make him respect the run a little bit more and keep him guessing where Terry McLaurin can actually get the ball a good amount. Let's check out Zach Ertz real quick. So he's positioned ranked 8th. Had a very good week against Philly last time. He had 6 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. So, man, that's just... Zach Ertz is still doing his thing. I love it. I love it. And then for the Dallas side, we have CeeDee Lamb. He is still dealing with an injury. Let's pull up with that injury. So he was listed questionable yesterday. He did not practice on Wednesday. Let's see what he's at. Oh, it's a back/foot injury, and he did not practice today. He did not participate. So, be aware of that. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down this week. I mean, Jake Ferguson's already hurt. I wouldn't even start him. It's tough. Umar in the chat. He said Mike Evans is back. He's cheeks. Dallas Cowgirls week. What up, Umar? Appreciate you in the chat, bro. Love it. And then Chili said Chase Smith to the moon. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, let's move on. Oh my gosh! Like, share, and subscribe. You know the deal. What is your go-to breakfast order? That is our question of the day. What is your go-to breakfast order? Guys, I gotta say, we have actually... I'm trying to get the dadgum mouse. We've actually been moving pretty well on this channel so far. I mean, the last couple lives have done pretty well as far as numbers go. I feel like we do have a community. We've gained some subscribers over the past couple days. So I really appreciate you guys. I mean, y'all make it happen. You know, I'm just a guy in a room. I'm just talking about football, and y'all in here talking about it with me. I appreciate it. Go tell a friend to tell a friend about Fantasy Blitz. That's the motto, okay? Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that like button on your way in or out. Share the video. Comment something. What is your go-to breakfast order? Come on, man. We got to do it. We got to do it. All right, let's get over here. Why? Why does that have to do that? Oh, and that's right. RobustWhenUnarmed.com. Use code FANTASYBLITZ with 3 Z's for 24% off your entire order. Fantasy Blitz with 3 Z's for 24% off your entire order. RobustWhenUnarmed.com. Guys, they have incredible stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. We're moving on. Actually, I got to read these orders. Umar says, egg and cheese croissant. Interesting. Very interesting. And then Coin said, huevos rancheros. I've never had it. It's on the menu of this Mexican restaurant I go to. It looks so good, so I think that's my sign to go get some. So I appreciate that, Coin. Umar said, told me cousins about Fantasy Blitz. I appreciate that, Umar. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. Chili says, Starbucks Trenti iced coffee and a chicken burrito from Chick-fil-A. Dude, their oh my gosh. Their chicken burritos are so good. Like, actually so good. I had one the other day. It's really good. Wayne Heron says, large black coffee and a smoothie. Ooh, okay, liquid. And then Hayden Hammond says, black coffee and Leviticus. King James version only. I like it. These are good answers. So let's talk about this Denver game. Let's talk about the Raiders. Denver at Las Vegas, start kicking off our 4 o'clock games. This one's at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Denver, they're 6-point favorites. And there's only 3 guys on this list for both teams in total. We have Bo Nix, who's a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. I'll say it again. Bo Nix is a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. What world do we live in? I don't know. And then we have Courtland Sutton. If Bo Nix did not exist, I don't know how much I'd want to start Courtland Sutton, especially that he's dealing with a little bit of an injury. But I'm loving it. I think Bo Nix is doing really well. I think he brings the best out of his teammates on the field. I don't know about off the field. I'm sure if they're doing well on, they're probably doing well off, maybe. But, I mean, Denver looks like a solid team. If they make the playoffs, which I assume they will, I wouldn't want to play them at all if I'm in the AFC at all. Like, that's a scary team. Because if Bo Nix sucks, you're going to win the game. But he hasn't looked terrible all year, and he looks like he's only getting better. So, what's happening? What's going on? And that defense is just phenomenal. And then for the Raiders side, we have Brock Bowers, who's been the number 1 tight end all year. He's been the best rookie receiver for wide receiver and tight ends. I mean, guy's been fantastic. Love it for him. Go Dogs. Got to say it. Absolutely. Oh, Umar traded Bowers 7 weeks ago. Biggest regret. Okay, time to share with the class. What did you trade? What did you trade? Because Davis told me, acid rabies, I'm about to call you out. He said he traded Jalen Hurts and Amon-Ra St. Brown for Josh Allen and Mark Andrews. Now, granted, Davis is a big Josh Allen guy, but, like, dude, what? What are we doing? Come on. I'm just kidding, Davis. I'm not messing. I mean, I'm messing with you, but not really. San Francisco versus Green Bay at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Green Bay, excuse me. They are 2-point favorites. So, we will start with them. Guys, this is a logo game. I love it so much. That 49ers logo versus that Green Bay logo. Give it to me every single week. I love it, man. It is awesome to see. I mean, we just know it's going to be a good game. So let's start with Green Bay since they are the 2-point favorites. Josh Jacobs, he is banged up. Let's check out if he practiced today. He had a pretty good week last week. I saw a good clip of him running the ball, and he pointed at Jalen. Oh, y'all can't even see me. He pointed at Jalen Johnson mid-run, and he was like, come tackle me. And then he just lowered his shoulder, and he got up. It was awesome to see. Let's check out Josh Jacobs real quick and see if he played. And then after that, just Jalen Reed. I don't have a lot of confidence in Green Bay receivers this year at all, so I'm trying to stay away from him. Josh Jacobs was a limited participant in practice Wednesday due to a quadricep and calf injury, ESPN reports. So that was 22 hours ago, so we should get some news in about 2 hours. So take that with however it is. He was limited, so he probably was limited today or full participant today. Just be a little aware. San Francisco side, Brock Purdy, he's also a little banged up. And then Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle said he will play on Sunday, so we'll see that. DEEBO Samuel, Jawan Jennings. It's just crazy how there's 5 guys, I ain't talking burgers, that are on that list, and they're still not projected to be the winning team. Okay? This is a much, much better team than the Green Bay Packers. On paper, this team is incredible. Their defense is stacked, their offense is stacked, but they still stand at 5-5. They're in dead last of their division. They're in dead last. The Cardinals are first. Okay, it's a one game difference. Their 5-5, Cards are 6-4. Is that not concerning though? You're not winning your division, and you're tied for a reason at the very end. Are you winning your divisional games? No, you're 1-3 in the division. So I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. If you're the 49ers, something's got to get figured out. Hopefully you can win this game and move on. I don't really have to explain too much why I like these 49ers, because if you've been watching any NFL for the past couple years, you just know that they're really good, okay? And that they can pop off at any moment. Let's check out this stat. Acid Raby says, scoreboard, Eli, scoreboard. Don't care. Don't care, sir. Yes, I lost to Davis back-to-back weeks in 2 different leagues. Okay. Oh, gosh. Umar, you traded him for Jawan Jennings. Why? Go get him back. Go get him back and then come back in the chat. Corn Operator says, let's go Broncos. I think we finally have a QB we can keep around for more than a few weeks. Haha, I think we have had 14 since Manning. Yeah, dude, I think y'all have had a lot. Like Trevor Siemian days, Brock Osweiler, Russell Wilson, golly, I mean, I feel like there's been a lot more. Those are just guys off the top of my head. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Okay. Let's go. Let's move on from the chat, and let's move on to the picks. We have Sunday at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time. We have the Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona, they are 1-point favorites. This game is practically a push, so we will talk about the Cardinals first. Kyler Murray, James Conner, Trey McBride, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Oh, boy. I mean, I feel like we talk about him every single week, but Marvin Harrison, dude. Is it Kyler Murray's fault? Let me know in the chat if you think it's Kyler's fault, if you think it's Marvin Harrison Jr.'s fault, coaching, like what's going on? Maybe we don't have to put blame on someone, but what is it? What's going on? It's making me sad. He's just very inconsistent, and that's what my problem is. Let's go to full chat here. I've read off his stats before, but these are just his last 5 games. Sorry, let's go 6 because it just adds to it. Okay, his last 6 games that he's played, because he went by last week. 5 points, 0 points, 5 points, 23, 3, 16. What are you going to get out of this guy? Like, what are you going to get? You never know until the game's over. And even then, I still don't know if you'll know. So it's pretty frustrating, but I feel like if you picked him in the second round, you absolutely have to keep playing him. You know, I feel like it's no option. But Trey McBride, he's been solid. James Conner's been solid. Look out for Trey Benson to vulture those picks, though, or those attempts, those rushing attempts. Just be aware. Kyler Murray, he's been okay all year. Let's check out his stats. He definitely hasn't been the quarterback I've been wanting him to be, but he is top 10. And Adam was right. Okay, he's not here on the show as much anymore, but that's okay. But Adam was totally right about Kyler Murray. So if you want to steal in the later rounds, then pick him up, all right? You don't have to buy a quarterback too early or draft a quarterback too early and then sacrifice your later rounds. We got Kyler Murray. He did great. He did well against the Jets. He put up 30 points. He's on a bye, or he came off a bye, so he should do well in this game against Seattle. But speaking of Seattle, we got to get talking about them. Geno Smith, K9, DK, JSN. Yeah, I just realized that. I just made a whole nickname for them. Whoa, almost cramped again. But Geno... Yeah, I mean, great last week. I think that I only really saw the game-winning play, but that's good enough for me. Kenneth Walker, fantastic player. DK Metcalf and JSN, I like the duo between these two. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is finally coming into play. That's making me so happy, man. Like, this guy could be so good, right? I mean, last 3 games, 12 points, 37, 21. He did really well against San Francisco. It's awesome to see this guy do well. Ooh, position ranked 10th in this league. That's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, so I think I just think this game will be full of offense. I don't know what the over-under is, but it should just do really well in the offensive scheme. Ooh, excuse me. Moving on. Sunday Night Football. Let's go. We have the Philadelphia Eagles as 3-point favorites taking on the Los Angeles Rams. This game will be being played in Los Angeles. We have Jalen Hurts, who is a little injured. I expect him to play. Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown. Don't know why it's in that order. And then Devontae Smith, if he is healthy. I recommend, or not recommend, I assume that he will be healthy and good to go. But be aware if he won't. I don't think there's a lot of good backup Eagles wide receivers. I think it's really just Brown and Smith. So you have to look for somewhere else, other than the Eagles. And then we have the Rams. We have Williams, Nakua, and Kupp. This game will be interesting, okay? This game will be very, very, very interesting. And the reason I say it will be interesting is because the Rams' run game is pretty good. It's top 10, top 11, top 12 in the league. The Eagles are very good on the ground. They're one of the best, if not the best teams to do it. So if they take away the run game and Devontae Smith is hurt, we actually have a closer ball game. That's why I'm expecting this line to probably get pushed to 2.5. Nothing more. It definitely won't rise. There's no way it rises past 3. If it does, then I'll be blown away. But the run game is very important because both teams rely on their running back. And if both teams can't rely on their running back, it's up to quarterbacks, and I want Jalen Hurts over Matt Stafford right now, okay, with the weapons that he has. Yeah, Matt's got the ring, but I think Jalen Hurts is a better guy. We're moving on. Wait, let me get to my comments, though, or the chat. I don't want to miss out on this. Boom, boom, boom. See, I see him over there. I just can't read them because they're too small. Chili said they even had Joe Flacco. They had Joe Flacco on the Browns? I believe it. That's just crazy. How? Oh, probably for like a season, right? Not even? I don't know. I feel like everyone's had a Joe Flacco in their life. Like, on their team, Monday Night Football. Someone cue the music. Baltimore Ravens versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, boy. What a good game this will be. I actually believe it'll be a fantastic game. I think both primetime games on Sunday night and Monday night will be very good. Baltimore taking on LA. They're 3-point favorites, so we will talk about the Baltimore Ravens first. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews. Oh, man. What a disastrous week last week it was for the Baltimore Ravens. Your defense does its job. It doesn't allow a single touchdown. They do pretty well. They force a turnover. They kind of just stop the offense as a whole from scoring a lot of points. But your offense couldn't get it done. You're the number 1 scoring team, and you score exactly what the Steelers usually give up, 16 or so. And that's what we talked about. We said the better side of the ball will win the game, and the better side of the ball was the defense that day. So the Steelers took on that game, and now they have a really good lead in that division. I expect that to get turned around. I like Baltimore -3. I think Derrick Henry will run all over LA. Man, I can't breathe, and that's pretty frustrating. I'm not going to lie. I'm starting to get a little angry with myself because right before the show, I'm fine, and then I get in this cold room, and then, ugh. But it's okay, though. And then Mark Andrews, again, solid tight end option. The only way you're really going to bench him for the rest of the year is if he starts to decline pretty fast and pretty heavy. So just look out for that. And then for the Chargers, we have Justin Herbert, J.K. Dobbins, Ladd McConkey if he's healthy. He was just ruled He was just ruled questionable for the game. However, I think he'll be fine. It's Thursday, so really it's there Wednesday since they're playing on Monday. So be aware of that. Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnston, and Will Dissly. Yeah, I have 3 wideouts. I have 3 receivers, 3 catchers, whatever you want to call them, for the Chargers because that Baltimore secondary is so bad. That's why that loss against the Steelers really upset me because, you did well. You did well all around, and then you truly just stop. You don't do anything on your offense. I got to stop talking about the Ravens, man. Ugh. But Will Dissly, I mean, he's been great. Second half of the season, excuse me. Get my thoughts together. But yeah, so Herbert, Dobbins, McConkey, Quentin Johnston, Will Dissly. Yeah, I lost to Will Dissly. He put up 30 points against me or so, something like that. Pretty crazy stuff. Really upset me. Not gonna lie, I got really mad. Okay, all right. Well, here's our picks. We're 81-37. So ever since we started this, we've picked 118 games. Let me correct myself. We've picked 118 games, not 118. We've picked 118 games. We've gotten 81 of those right, 37 of those wrong, which looks good. You know, it looks nice and all, but that's not our goal. Oh, what a shame that is. That's not our goal. Our goal is to hit 75%, so we're really going to have to crush it this week if we're going to even want to sniff 35%. Or 75%, excuse me. So let's get it going. All right. Everyone got their pen and pencils ready, their papers ready? I'm going to take a sip of my yerb. We have Tropical Uprising today. Not my favorite flavor, but that's okay. Push the mic away. Pretty good. Hopefully you sipped along, whether you have a yerba or not. Okay? All right, let's do this. Steelers versus Browns. Give me the Steelers. I'm not going to talk entirely about why, but yeah, for each game, Steelers for sure. Chiefs, Panthers. Give me the Chiefs. Vikings, Bears. Give me the Vikes. Titans, Texans. Give me the Texans. Lions, Colts. Give me the Lions, but in a close one. Patriots, Dolphins. Gosh, I'm afraid that Lions, Colts one's going to get wiped out and they're just going to kill them. Patriots, Dolphins, give me the Dolphins. Bucks, Giants, give me the Bucks, even though I don't want them to win. Cowboys, Commanders, give me the Commanders. Broncos, Raiders, give me the Broncos. 49ers, Packers, this is where it gets tough. Oh, boy. Let me get the Packers. Yeah, I'll take the Packers. I love the Green Bay. I think they're a great team. I love that franchise. Cardinals, Seahawks. Cardinals. Eagles, Rams. Give me the Eagles. And then the Ravens, Chargers. Give me the Ravens. Yeah, I should do it. So only 13 games? What do we have to get if we want to get 75%? 10 divided by 13. So I'd have to get about 10 of these right if I want to be on pace. And that's possible. I think I can only really mess up 2 of the games, and that would be the Packers game and the Sunday night game. I just feel like the Rams are going to upset them. I don't know why. I really don't know why. All right, let's check out this chat, and then let's dip. Let's all go do something. Robust One on Arm says, "What's up, Yerb? We need you. Like the stream if you haven't. That's right. Hit that like button. Okay, hit that like button. It's very nice." All right, well, that's it for the show. A lot of good games this week, or a lot of good football just to sit back and watch, especially just for fantasy. I know I said some of the games kind of suck, and they kind of do, but it's the NFL. You know, it's entertainment. It's always going to be good. But yeah, you guys are the best. Oh, I won't be streaming next week, just because of Thanksgiving, right? But what should I do? I haven't even thought about that. All right, well, we will try to stream on Wednesday. If I can somehow come in on a Wednesday and stream, that would be great. If not, I will upload a video with starts and sits just for y'all. Or I'll go live on my phone on Thanksgiving, and I'll just talk to y'all. I don't mind. I don't really have a lot of big plans for Thanksgiving, so I should be free. I appreciate you guys so much. Y'all are the best. Seriously, I never want to get off the mic. You guys can always hear me just yapping at the end because I don't want to leave. I never want to leave this place. I love it. I love it, but reality calls, and you got to answer. All right, y'all. Wayne Heron says, "Nice picks." I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. God bless. Be kind. And peace.